I've always had this feeling that art and science are not really any different.
Yeah.
You know, they're different parts of the same animal. And the Victorians felt that instinctively. You know, if you look at the Crystal Palace, 1851, it was the works of all nations. It wasn't arts and science brought together. It was just works. And thanks to the glorious Prince Albert. And the Victorians generally, if you look at all the great scientists, they're generally musicians, almost without fail. And they didn't see the distinction. All the great photographers, I'm a passionate collector of Victorian photography, especially the stereoscopic stuff.
Sure.
You know. All those guys are artists and scientists, and they have to be, because they're working in a medium that requires incredible knowledge of chemistry and physics. They also are creating art, creating portraits, landscapes, beautiful things, and they don't even think that there's a distinction. So that's how I am, you know, and I resisted the 20th century concept that you have to be one or the other, you know, and they try to split us, and they succeeded for a while. And I think that was bad. And I think now we're seeing a coming together, a rejoining of art and science in someone like Matt Taylor, for instance, who's the PI of another NASA mission, the Rosetta mission. You expect to meet this boffin guy who's one of the most successful scientists of our time. He's a heavy metal phenomenon, you know. He's got Einstein tattooed here and Lemmy tattooed on the other side, you know. And he's as much passionate about his music as he is about his work, you know, his science and his engineering. So that to me is lovely. I think that's a healthy thing. We're all coming together and realizing that we're human beings. We're supposed to be complete human beings. We're supposed to have all those sides to us. Otherwise, we're not complete.